This morning I arrived and there was like an arc of water kind of jettisoning off from the auto drip system in the garden, and it was actually hitting the side of the buildings. And I was just, immediately kind of, mind was a bit groggy. So the first thought was like, how do I get under this? And I walk around. And then I thought like, what do I do about this now? And I'm looking, and I thought, how do I turn this off? And I thought, maybe we should get Tanrakito, but he's up at his kutis on forest practice. And then I realized, maybe I do know what to do. So I took off the cover, one of these fake rocks, and I tried to turn off the water. And then I was kind of excited because I saw there's an arrow, it says off, turn it this way. And then it didn't work. So what am I going to do? Ajahn comes out of nowhere, like one of those hero videos or something, and he just takes a big bucket and he covers the springing leak, and that was it. It was 10 minutes left of puja. I'm thinking, don't want to have puja late. And then he just came in, put the bucket on, and walked away. And the first thought I had was like, that's so great, that's like perfect. And then the second thought I thought is, why am I so inadequate? How could I have not thought of that? But this is like just a great example of Ajahn Sek. Ajahn Sek is a very incredible monk in many ways, and when I would kind of romanticize about what a Buddhist monk was like, it was sort of, I would imagine kind of what I think how Ajahn Sek acts is the way that I kind of thought about it. He's just a very quiet monk, always who's doing what needs to be done. There's sort of nothing extra. There's nothing kind of excessive. It's just sort of like contained. His behaviors are very well contained and very quiet. And there's a sense often I have that he just has the ability to see what needs to be done, and he does it. It's not very complicated, and that's the beauty of the training we can see from the Thai forest tradition. And so, like, this is a very important example for us, because sometimes we think one has to be like a very eloquent speaker, or very witty or funny or something like that. And at times Ajahn Sek can do those things, but for the most part, what he's exhibiting is just a character that has an incredible amount of moral integrity, and is really like, just has a bountifitude of compassion and caring towards others. He sees when other people need help, and he just helps them out. There's nothing really kind of complicated there, and yet there's a great humility at the same time that he exhibits. So it's sort of like, I remember just asking a couple weeks ago, if we were thinking about concrete work to be done around the shrine that we're going to put in here, and then I just said to Ajahn Sek, you've spent so many years as a Thai monk in the Wat Pa Pong tradition. That's like one thing that the monks are known for, is their concrete work. And he said, no, I just watching. And I said, really? And then, even like a couple of mornings later, he was asked to go do this concrete work, and it's just this incredibly beautiful job. The detail he's able to pay attention to and know what's to be done and how to take care of it in a very mindful way. I worked with Ajahn Sek a few years ago on a walking path, and it was really, it was just very beautiful to see how he did the work. It didn't seem to be planned out. He just fit everything together and created this walking path with out of wood and sand and rocks and it was just perfect. There was nothing that was needed or left out. So that kind of diligence is really amazing to see, and just always seeing that he's there, he's present, he's showing up, he's on time, and yet there's never ever a feeling of animosity or that I ever get. It's always this calm and sort of caring attitude. So these are the things that we can aspire to as Buddhist practitioners, not just monastics, but all of us can look to Ajahn Sek as an example of kind of like what it is that an ideal monk can be like, what their behaviors are like. Like when we talk about these smaller rules called the Sakyas, these were actually just all taken from how the Buddha behaved, and then they became minor rules for our own decor in terms of how we conducted ourselves in our daily life. And so there's, each of us has our own strengths and weaknesses, but using Ajahn Sek as an example, it's like we can really see like how we can look towards. With Ajahn Sek it's so easy because there's so many positive qualities that he has, that he sort of exudes as a monk. And then for each of us, we can take from that, but we can also take from each other. We know that each of us has our own strengths and weaknesses. But what's really helpful in a monastery is to look towards those strengths. It's very easy to try to see weaknesses or to see something that, like, oh, why does he do it this way, or why is he doing it that way? And instead we kind of see like, oh, this is the strength of that particular resident in the monastery. They really have this wonderful quality, and of course it's helpful to try to boost each other up in terms of the areas where we don't shine, or we do need some improvement. But for our own minds, it's incredibly uplifting to focus on the good behaviors that we're seeing in others. And when we move towards the opposite and we start to see negative behaviors, then that just colors our whole mind, our whole attitudes towards just our everyday, where our thoughts incline. And so it's really very beneficial. It's so easy to do with Ajahn Sek, to see the myriad good qualities, and the humility, the respect, the kindness, the compassion and caring. But with each of us, we can also focus on all of these good qualities that we all have. And when we bring that up in the mind, then there is this incredibly beautiful loving kindness that shines forth towards all of us that live in community together, and we start to see each other with kindly eyes, and the moods, the sort of negative moods and aversion that we can carry around sort of begins to fade away when we're really emphasizing this goodness and the perception that we can have of others.